We have breaking news. A fire reported at an apartment on Old Hickory Boulevard.
That's right. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy is live there this morning. Dan, anyone hurt?
No, thankfully nobody is hurt, but unfortunately 2 elderly people are displaced this morning. It happened in the 400 block of Old Hickory Boulevard East in the Madison area at this apartment unit. The fire call came out a little after 4:15 this morning, and really firefighters had it under control within about 30 minutes or so. It did not take much time at all. But when firefighters got here, they noticed there were 2 people inside. They got out safe. Nobody was injured. That is the good news to report, but you see some of the damage out here and some of the contents laying outside. And actually, I'm walking up here right now and I can see that this fire has started to rekindle, and the fire department has since left, but we actually have some big flames right here now. Vincent, I don't know if there's any way you can walk over here at this time, as this is all happening in live time. This is a mattress out here. In fact, investigators were told by the couple who lives here that that mattress caught fire from the oxygen tank that the couple was using. The fire investigators are going to have to come out here to determine that exactly. But while Vincent gets some video of these flames, I'm going to go ahead and call the fire department, and we'll send it back to you all in the studio.
All right, Dan, breaking news. Water gushing up from the ground right now. This is happening in Antioch.
All right, we're going to check in with breaking news right now. A fire reported at an apartment on Old Hickory Boulevard. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy live there this morning. Dan, I know you just had to call
it just rekindled, within the last 10 minutes or so. And I just want to show you, sorry for cutting you off, firefighters had just pulled up here because these flames started during our last live hit. The fire department was originally called out here at about 4:15 this morning on reports of a fire. Then they cleared everything out. The fire was out, the flames were gone, and firefighters were able to pack up. And then about 45 minutes after they left the scene, we see these flames again, and they began to rekindle during our last live shot. We hung up the phone and were able to get in touch with the fire department. We weren't the only ones who called and asked them to come here. Red Cross is also on the scene. So between the Red Cross and also our assignment desk, we were able to call and get fire crews back out here. They were here within a matter of 4 to 5 minutes, and now they're on the scene with their fire hose once again to extinguish some of these flames. If Vincent can walk with me over here, I want to show you another angle of this apartment. This is over on Old Hickory Boulevard East in the Madison area. We're watching our steps because with the water firefighters have been using this morning, it's also pretty slippery here. We went door to door, also making sure people were out of their apartments safe, and we could tell you that from the original fire call, most of the damage is isolated to this one unit, and it's mostly just the contents inside that are a total loss. The structure of the home is actually okay, but this smoke now billowing out of this apartment unit. We expect to talk with firefighters here again soon to get a bit of an update. This is also the mattress that was inside, and according to the folks who live here who are now displaced, they say it was an oxygen tank that caught fire. Charles actually lives next door, and Charles, you were awakened by a fire earlier this morning. Just tell me what you heard and saw.
I heard a big boom, and like I say, didn't know next door neighbors beating on the door saying there's a fire next door.
When you heard that boom, what went through your head?
Just to get up and get out the house.
Okay. And then take me to a few minutes ago, and what happened here?
Like I say, they put it out about 30 minutes ago, and then it rekindled. And like I say, now smoke is coming through my house now, real bad.
It's coming through your house?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if we take a look?
Yes, sir.
All right. So he's now next door to where this fire started. Again, no injuries to report. That is what we are thankful for this morning. But an elderly couple is displaced, and we appreciate you letting us inside just to get a peek. And you are right next door, and Vincent, I'll let you head in there. This is Charles giving us a peek, and now smoke coming through his place. So firefighters again are next door. They're working to make this as safe as possible, get this fire under control, get the smoke out of here. No injuries again to report over here in the Madison area. Amy and Nick, we're going to keep an eye on this situation, and we'll have another live report for you coming up pretty soon. Reporting with photographer Vincent Bradford, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
All right, Dan, good job there. Hopefully they can get the smoke stopped and those flames out. Glad that couple's out of there. All right, breaking news now. A fire at an apartment on Old Hickory Boulevard has rekindled just in the last 15 minutes.
Right, let's get right back to it. Dan Kennedy is live there at the scene where it rekindled. And Dan, how are things developing right now? Last, it looked like the fire might be spreading.
Yeah, it was getting bigger and bigger as we were talking. That fire rekindled inside this apartment off Old Hickory Boulevard East in the Madison area. We were able to call the fire department out here at 5:30 when we saw those flames during our live shot. The fire department arrived here within minutes, and now a second truck has pulled up. They're bringing a fan in to help air this out. They have the fire hose in there, so it appears the flames might be out, but still a bit of a smoky situation inside. In fact, as you can see here, they've since opened up one of the windows leading to that apartment to kind of air things out, and now they're also bringing in an industrial size fan to assist with that. I'm going to walk next door to Charles's apartment, and we just spoke with Charles a minute ago. You were nice enough to let us inside, and you're going to show us inside because this is also affecting you and spreading to your place. So you actually were woken up to this fire call at about 4:15 or so this morning when it originally started. What did you hear? What did you see then?
Like I say, when I heard the noise, I thought the next door neighbor was fighting. But like I say, it was an old lady, and then they come knocking on the door and told me that the oxygen tank had blew up. And like I say, to get out the house.
That's the word, is that it was an elderly couple who lived there, and perhaps it was an oxygen tank that started.
Yes, sir. She was real bad off. Yes, she was on oxygen.
Well, it's good to know there were no injuries reported in all this. But then just a few minutes ago, there was word that there was another fire that had rekindled, rather. So tell me about your thoughts when you heard that.
Now I'm scared that might have to go out and find me somewhere else to stay tonight.
And what's going on in your part with the smoke detectors going off?
Yeah, but it's just beeping. It's not going off, sir.
Oh, it's just beeping.
Uh-huh.
A good reminder for all of us to check those smoke
battery in. I just put a brand new one in it, but like I say, you at first I didn't have this much smoke, but now I do.
You have a fan out here as well to kind of air things out.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, Charles. Let's check back outside one more time and see what's going on as fire crews are working to ventilate this area. Again, at least 2 people have been displaced. 2 people who live in this particular unit. Thankfully, no injuries associated with it, but you see that burnt out mattress. According to the couple who lives there, that is where the fire started, and they say it was with their oxygen tank. But fire marshal will determine that for sure a little later today. All right, we know things are getting noisy. We're going to send it back in the studio, and we will continue to update you from the scene of the fire. Looks like Nick and Amy, they're starting to get things under control once again. Back to you.
Sounds good, Dan. Glad you could get the firefighters back out there.
Good morning. We're live along Old Hickory Boulevard East in the Madison area where a fire has rekindled, where we've been reporting all morning long from an apartment fire along Old Hickory Boulevard. The flames restarted about 5:30 this morning during one of our live shots. We were able to get off the air, get the fire department out here. They're here within minutes and have since got the flames out. And now they've opened up the windows and brought an industrial-sized fan inside to kind of air things out and ventilate it to get the smoke out, because now it is also affecting residents in some of these other apartments. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to tell you what firefighters think may have caused this fire to begin with, and we'll have those full details coming up next at 6. Reporting live in Madison, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
5 Live traffic.
And we do have more breaking news. An apartment fire in Madison is just rekindled. That in the last 30 minutes.
News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy has been on the scene all morning for us. And Dan, I know we actually had to call dispatch after you spotted the flames again.
Yeah, thankfully during our 5:30 report, we were able to walk up when we saw some glow coming from one of these windows. You guys saw the flames back at the station and immediately got on the phone with the fire department, who were here within 4 to 5 minutes. And here they are, they remain. They have those flames out, but it's still pretty smoky inside this one unit. And so now they're trying to air it out, ventilate it a little bit. I want to give you a full breakdown of what's going on here. Let's start with the fact that there are no injuries. Unfortunately, though, 2 people are displaced from inside this home. Looking outside, you can see it's mostly the contents that are ruined, like that mattress laying outside in the snow. According to the 2 people who lived here, an elderly couple, it was an oxygen tank that caught fire at about 4:15 this morning. They were able to get out, evacuate themselves by the time fire crews got here. Again, no injuries to report. But that fire rekindled after crews had already left. At 5:30 this morning, they were again here within minutes, got the flames out. Now it's all about ventilating this area so the smoke doesn't spread to other units, which is already too late, as we just spoke with one man and took you live inside his apartment about 15 minutes ago as the smoke started moving into his place of living as well. Again, no injuries to report from this area of Madison, but fire crews remain on the scene to ensure this does not rekindle once again this morning. Reporting live in Madison, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
An incredible and cold scene this morning up in Madison.
That's right. Tough for firefighters, you know, for sure. In that bitter cold, you saw the icicles on the side of those units there still. Let's get over to Leland right now for the very latest on the weather forecast. Leland, good morning. All right, fair enough. Also breaking this morning, an elderly couple has lost their home after a fire in Madison early this morning. And
News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy has been on the scene for us all morning. And Dan, I know this rekindled just a short time ago. Firefighters still on the scene.
Yeah, it was about an hour ago exactly that this fire rekindled during one of our live hits. Firefighters were called back out here. They got those flames out. Now they're working to ventilate it out and kind of air this place out so the smoke doesn't become a huge issue. They have the windows open, and over on the rooftop they were able to cut a fan off to help with some of that ventilation. There's a mattress laying outside in the snow that belonged to the couple who lived here. According to that couple, it was the oxygen tank that caused this fire. And right next door lives a man named Charles. And Charles, you were awoken to this fire early this morning, about 4:15. Just tell me what you heard and what you saw.
Like I said, all of a sudden it was just a big boom. I thought the neighbor was getting into it, and then the next thing, the neighbors knocking on the door talking about, get your stuff, it's a fire.
What was going through your head when you heard there was a fire right next door to you?
Man, you know, the panicking. What's going on next? Do I have to grab my stuff, or will it be the end?
And then you're back inside your home, ready to get some rest?
Yes, sir.
When you hear about it rekindling, how'd you find out about that?
Through you, watching the news.
You were watching the news, you saw the flames?
Yes, sir. As you seen them reflying through the living room, that's when I grabbed my stuff and came on outside.
You're right next door to this apartment. Any damage to yours?
Besides the water damage in the restroom for where they put it out, pretty smooth right now.
We're thankful you're okay, Charles. We appreciate your time this morning. Take care, sir. And the good news we can report, the couple who did live there is okay. They are displaced on a very cold morning, but the Red Cross is out here assisting that family. Reporting live in Madison, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Dan. And we're continuing to follow breaking news in Bedford County.
And a fire displaces 2 people at this Madison apartment. Coming up next, we'll show you the damage and tell you what firefighters think may have started this fire.
More breaking news now. A fire reported at an apartment complex on Old Hickory Boulevard. You know, it had since rekindled, and Dan was out there, right? And saw it spark back up.
Yeah, live on the air. He's still there. Let's check in with him right now. We know 2 people have been displaced, but Dan, what at this point are they thinking actually even started this fire?
Well, according to that couple who is now displaced, they say it was their oxygen tank that caught fire. And just looking at some of the damage out here in the front lawn, you can tell a lot of it is to their mattress. In fact, they were in bed at 4:15 this morning when that fire began, and they tell firefighters it was that oxygen tank. Some of the other things damaged this morning include a melted bike, which you'll see in a minute. These were flames and smoke from earlier this morning that the firefighters got out here. They got the couple out safely, and they had that fire out within about 30 minutes. They left the scene, and then about an hour later, that fire rekindled, and fire crews had to be called back out here. They were here within 3 to 4 minutes, and were able to get those flames out, and then had to work on ventilating it because there was a whole lot of smoke, and they didn't want that fire to spread to some of the other units. This is that melted Honda motorcycle I was just telling you about. So everything inside is to be considered a total loss, but it did not spread to any of the other units. Only 2 people displaced on a very cold morning, though I'm told the Red Cross is assisting them. People in these other apartments are okay and their homes are livable. Reporting from Madison, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Dan. And water is...
Good morning. Fire erupts at a Madison apartment overnight, displacing 2 people, and it rekindled while we were on air. Coming up next, we'll tell you what caused this fire.
Also breaking overnight, a fire reported at an apartment on Old Hickory Boulevard, and it rekindled. Actually, we were live on the air this morning. Let's get right to News Channel 5 Dan Kennedy. He was there. Dan, this was really dramatic this morning because you were talking to us about what happened, and then you saw the flames and smoke begin again. You had to call the fire crews back out there.
Right. As I was talking on air, I mean, we saw a glow in the window of this apartment. That's when we saw the flames, and it was good teamwork from some of the producers back at Channel 5 who immediately called the fire department. They arrived back out here within 3 to 4 minutes to help put this fire out. But this is all that's left. Everything inside was destroyed, including that mattress and a motorcycle as well. When we first got out here about 4:15 this morning, we were told by fire crews that it was an elderly couple inside, and they told firefighters that it was the oxygen tank that caused this fire. Crews got it put out within about 30 minutes. They left the scene, and then it rekindled at about 5:30 this morning. Again, they were able to get those flames out. Another thing they did is open up this window after it rekindled because they wanted to air it out. They wanted some good ventilation because there was a whole lot of smoke, and it was starting to affect people who lived at some of these neighboring apartments as well. And we could tell you that everybody in the other apartments are fine. Everybody's okay and safe. And those apartments are still livable. This one, of course, is not. And the couple who's inside is now displaced on a very chilly January morning, though the Red Cross is now assisting them. Reporting live in Madison, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Dan. And breaking overnight, Dr.